Okay, guys, today, well, first I'm going to tell you we're going to be installing a light switch for a 95 Dodge Viper. Light switches apparently on these things, and I've noticed as I've owned the Viper, the longer I own it, the more I hear about common problems. One of them was the wiper. The left one was fine, but the right one was kind of acting weird, not wiping, getting snagged on the driver's side one. You would think the passenger side, there's two motors instead of having just one motor like on contemporary cars where they have like what they call a wiper transmission. This actually has, each one has their own motor. And so when one of them's acting up, the natural knee-jerk reaction is to change the one that's acting up. Naturally, you think that's bad. Wrong. It's going to be the opposite one. The one that's working fine, that's the bad one. Don't doubt it, just believe it, and you'll be saving yourself a lot of time. But in this case here, the light switch, for several weeks I noticed whenever I took it out at night or in the morning, I'd smell like an electrical burning smell, and wasn't quite sure what it was. I knew I had just been out, taken the front panel off where the radio is at, had messed around with some wiring in there for some reason, I forget. And after I put it back in there, I started smelling this smell, and I thought perhaps that when I shoved the wiring back in there, somehow, some way, one was arcing or something on the a metal piece inside there or something. But turns out all that time it was the light switch slowly melting. And so, okay, so it needs a light switch. So thankfully they still have those aftermarket, and I was able to pick one up. And because it was a real common switch used on a lot of Dodge vehicles and such. So I have an event coming up, going to the VOA, and I figure, okay, the day before I'm just going to get in there real quick, swap the switch out, and be done with it. Drop the switch down, and the whole harness is melted. And so it wasn't just going to be a simple, switch replacement. So anyway, called Chuck Tater up in New York. They call him the Viper Wizard or the Viper Guru. He knew exactly what it was, said it was a common issue for these cars. And so just really quickly, he looked around. Apparently at some point back in 95 on B-Series vans, I think it was the 2500s, he said, they had a safety recall because these switches would actually melt and catch fire. Well, like most dealers, a lot of their parts they interchange between models, and to keep costs down, I guess they either felt that there wouldn't be a problem in the Viper, or they figured with such low sales volume, maybe the instances of that happening would be so small, there's no need to put out a recall, cost us money, when in the end, these people don't drive these cars a whole lot anyway, especially at night, yada yada. So I guess they ended up not putting it out for all the vehicles, but that is the case. And so there's a recall kit, and this is the recall kit number. And as you can see, he's got $157 written on there. So that's how much this kit costs through him. The part number is a Charlie Apple James Mary 8190 Apple Charlie. And if you need it, 001 at the end. A lot of times that Apple Charlie would be the end of it, but I think this 001 at the end has to do with the recall number. So I did look it up. I work at an automotive shop, so I looked it up. And sure enough, there is a recall in there for the vans, but not for the Vipers. So anyway, ordered a kit. It came. This is the other side of the paperwork. Like I said, you might not need the 0100, but there's the part number there again. And so he ordered one for me. It came from San Antonio. Real fast shipping. Chuck always takes care of that, gets that done. Just heads up, when dealing with him, he doesn't take credit cards. He takes check or money order. And so when you get your part, he'll have a self-addressed stamp envelope in there, and you just write the check and you send it back to him like that. A real easy guy to work with. So in the bag, this is the bag it came in. There's like some type of jumper harness here. Let me back out here a little bit. All right, so this is the jumper harness. On this end, you've got two female spade connectors, and then here's a wiring connector right here. I don't know what's in here, and I'm not going to unwrap it to find out, but there's something inside there. And then here is another connector, a 2-pin connector. So that's one piece. It also comes with a another little wire connector in there. I'll find out what goes on with that here in a moment. This is some type of lock for the wire connector, and then some shrink wrap tubing. This is the switch. Now I don't know per se if this is an updated switch or not. It could be. The switch that I bought independent looked exactly like this, so there might be some kind of internal improvement. I'm not sure. It comes with this. Looks like this is some type of lock. Once you get all the wiring done, you put this lock inside there. I'm not sure. I'll find out. And then of course it'll come with new wiring. Now these wiring, you know, it comes with the connectors on the end of it. What you're going to do is on the harness, you're going to shove these pins into the harness, and of course make your connections on that end. So I'll get started on it, and we'll get this thing fixed up. Now, I will say, being in the industry that I'm in, I'm able to take factory part numbers, cross them, and things like that. And if there's anything in the aftermarket, then of course I pick that up. Now, thinking that this was a 1995 recall, most people are not going to have this factory recall kit in stock anymore. But hopefully, we would all hope that the aftermarket would pick up on something like that after all this time and come out with their own. It looks like Standard did for the most part. That part number is a David Sams 740, and of course we'll open this box here. This doesn't have anything to do with the recall per se. It's just some general installation instructions in all the languages you would hope it would be in. The box. Now the cool thing, I guess you could say, about this one is, hold on, I'm going to open this thing. And so this one has another set of instructions in the bag for this connector. If you look here, you start kind of being able to see that white piece here. That's that white piece. Right here. So this one here, I guess if you want to look at it, it keeps you from having to do the wiring, the setup yourself. Okay, so you know, in the end, this would be a lot quicker. Okay, this switch here, like I said, it looks exactly like the other one. So I'm not sure, like I said, if in that kit there is some kind of update or something. Maybe the internals are built in such a way that where it's a better one. I'm not sure. But this other set here is just, again, general headlamp switch installation stuff. So what we're going to do is, I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to send anything back to Chuck. What I am going to do, the only thing that this kit doesn't have is this jumper right here. And I'm not entirely sure where it goes. I'll find out, like I said. So we'll see. But the one thing that the factory kit doesn't have is this block. And that block is what's melted. So I'll have to figure out if the factory wiring harness comes with that or not. We'll find out. Okay, so mystery solved. What this piece is. This piece, as I might have mentioned, these kits, there was a recall made for the Dodge 2500 vans for the fire issue. And so this kit was made for a Dodge van, is what it was. And this harness here, when you get this, if you get this kit from Chuck, you don't need this. This was specifically for the Dodge van. Okay, so you can chunk this, salvage it for parts, whatever you want to do. But the one thing he did say that got left out, or for some reason wasn't in there, is this block right here. So this should be in here, but it's not. So he's going to ship one of those out to me on Monday. Obviously, apologize. For some reason, there was some kits that had them, some that didn't. So, but anyway, but what I would tell you is, I truly don't think. And he said these are drying up anyway, so the chances of you finding one here in the next year or two probably is slim to none. So I'm happy that I was able to get this part, because typically this stuff here you'll be able to find for some time. The people that might have stuff like this isn't going to be AutoZone. Well, they may, you know, call everybody. Call O'Reilly's, AutoZone, Checker, Shucks, and Craig, and whoever you're near, whatever one's in your area, and give them that part number, and make sure you say it's a standard part number. There's a 3-letter code for standard. I think for standard it's STN or STD. But anyway, one of those two, they should be able to take that number. When you go to these parts houses, always make sure you get the old crusty looking guy. Okay, because the young punks rolling through there, they don't know that much. If it's not showing on the computer, some of these older guys still know how to look it up in a book and stuff like that, so they may still be able to find it. And the interesting thing is here, when you're doing this, maybe AutoZone doesn't carry standard parts, but maybe this number translates into a Borg-Warner. So if you go to AutoZone and they can't cross this number, there's nothing in Borg-Warner, make sure you go by O'Reilly's, someone that carries standard parts, or get online and look up the standard part number, David Sam 740, and you'll be able to get this. And this appears to be all you'll need. It's this block with these wiring. It's a 9-wire connector, and of course the new switch. You can get these new switches by themselves, but again, the problem isn't, yeah, if you have this problem, replace the switch, but the problem isn't so much the switch itself. It's going to be this harness here that you're going to need to replace. Now, things you can do to keep this from happening again, convert all your lights over to LED. The LED draws so little power that the load that's going through here is significantly reduced. Okay, so that's what you can do, is to replace your lights with LED lighting. You think, well, shoot, man, you know, that can get expensive. Shop around. It's not that bad, to be honest with you. I'll share with you at some point, there's a company that you basically go in there and you put your year, make, and model there, and they give you every bulb that you convert over to, and it's real easy to do. You ain't got to do any, you know, figuring. But you say, okay, well, that's expensive. Well, I'll tell you what, in a couple of years when your lights burn out, when this switch burns out and burns up that thing, maybe catches your car on fire, you're going to be wishing you had switched over to the LEDs. Okay, so just a little tidbit there. We'll get back on the installation once Chuck sends me that block. The question might be, why don't you just use this? I paid a lot of money for that, and bless his heart, Chuck needs to stay in business. I want Chuck to stay in business, and if he's got parts I need, I'll pay the money to keep him in business, because when people like him go, so does yet another option for us Viper guys. So if you can scrounge the money up, great. What I'm saying, the purpose I'm showing you this is, in the event you call and he doesn't have one, or you can't find one, there is this option here. But man, come on, if you can afford it, please give. I think this was like 90 something bucks, and Chuck's price on here was $157. So look at it like this: you're paying $57 more to keep a guy in business that's in business solely for you. So you've got to protect those kinds of people. It does mean paying a little bit of money, but if you can't wrap your head around that, maybe you shouldn't be owning an older car, because if you ever do own a different older car, you're going to hope or wish somebody's in business that keeps your car around and all the intricate parts and stuff that they need. So make sure you give these guys your business. All right, I'll touch base with you back. We'll get this thing installed on Monday. Okay guys, first thing you're going to do is this under panel here. You're going to want to take off this little knee bolster, and there's some screws here. They're just simple Phillips head screws. You've got, normally you'd have one here, the plastic backing behind there, as is the case with these older cars. It's all crumbled away, but there's one here, one here, one here, and then there's one there, and then of course one right there, and then this thing literally just falls away. Okay, so we got that piece off, and up underneath here, I've already got the switch pulled off of here, but let me go ahead and get that there. You can see how melted that is. Okay, so when you're doing this repair, yes, you'll need a new switch. And the switch, when I took it off here, the terminals, now this is the new replacement switch, but these terminals, it can sit here and spin on that rivet that's there that holds it on. So they were bad and corroded. Some of them were corroded and stuff like that. I'd actually thought water got down inside there. They were corroded like that, but apparently this thing has so much load pulling off of it, and corrosion adds resistance to voltage flow. The heat just builds up over time. Look at that corrosion right there on the back of that wire. Let's see here. See it? See the green right there? See the exposed wire? That's exactly what happens. You see the burnt sheathing that goes back on the green wire? That's apparently what happens. That corrosion adds resistance to voltage flow, which means the voltage kind of gets deadheaded, and then that starts building up heat in the wire, and Bob's your uncle. So you'll need this piece for sure. So whatever you get, it's not just a switch problem, it's this. Okay? So next step, we need to be able to get better access to this. So the way you do that is, and I happened to find this on YouTube one time, just looking around for how to prepare a dash and stuff, but right here, this light switch here, on the back of this switch, and I'll show you this one front, but right here, there's a little plunger. Watch. See, it's got a spring on it. You push it in. What you have to do is you have to reach up behind there. It's orientated like this back there, or rather like this. You have to reach up behind there and depress that plunger and then pull out on that handle, that switch right there. And when you get it out, of course, that's what it's going to be right there. It has that little detente at the end of it there. Next step is inside here. You're probably not going to be able to see it like this. You may be able to get a picture of it there, but there's like a little screw inside there. And that screw, let me do this here. And that screw has like a flathead on it. You simply just take a flathead screwdriver, something that'll fit inside that hole, and you're just going to counterclockwise, just like you take anything else loose, and that is screwed into that threaded portion right there, if you can see it. You can see those threads right here. And that's what holds this switch up back behind there, believe it or not. Once you get that out, it'll drop right down. Here you go, guys. That's a better look of it right there. You can use a Phillips or you can use a flathead, whatever it is, but you see there's the hole in the middle, and then you got the 4 on the side. Like I said, a Phillips that'll fit in there, or a flathead, either one, and just counterclockwise rotation. So old switch on the left, new one on the right. Like, see this spade right here? How loose it is. It's that one right here. But you know, it's just over time, like I said, and the amount of load they have going through this one switch, as opposed to later year designs, was just it was just too much. So they just get hot and that's it.